Well, it's going to build a deck. So one of the cards from this new campaign, well, new set rather, is kind of interesting to me though. It's just an unkillable threat. Oh dear, there's quite a lot of things coming with Rost. That's similar to Macto, so of course, I'm just like a huge fan. It requires it really heavy in Primal, but the Insignias are here, so that sort of helps us decide where we want to put this in a deck. So speaking of Rost, it's basically just a huge, well, it's just a big boy. Overwhelm means it's very difficult for your opponent to just not take damage, so this is kind of nice with Palace because you get to give it Berserk and then just like kill your opponent, because even if this is shifted, so it's not like really in play when you use Sack the City, it'll still get Berserk. So when it comes off suspend, well, off shift rather, I need to get my head around this mechanic properly and how to actually describe it in non-magic terms. When it comes off, you just get to like 14 your opponent, and if they deal with it, like it's just going to happen again. So yeah, I do like this card. Go and build a deck around it. So slam Rost in here. Sort of annoying that it doesn't sort of pop up first. So what we want to do is take a look at the insignias we get. So we're only looking at, well, primal ones really. So Huru or Feln are the only insignias we've got that sort of support this. I think Huru's sort of done to death, so I guess we're going to be looking at Feln, which is kind of fine because in Feln we've also got Champion of Cunning, so that also cares about, I guess, both having a really hard to kill endgame threat and having loads of pips. And pips is something that we can do. So because this needs kind of both, and realistically with Champion of Cunning, I think like the Shadow one's kind of the most important one. Especially with like Vara's popping around. We should probably lean heavier onto Primal. So this might be wrong. We might end up just like leaving Champion of Cunning in the market or something if this becomes sort of like a number with Vara, because if you can play Vara, you probably should. So because we're playing Vara, this is going to decide. So at the minute we're just like sort of looking through what our unit choices are. This will make the decision for us on when it comes to merchants. So we'd either want to play Blight Pass or Kerendon, but we've got new toys, so let's play with it. Don't mind making it so that opponent's annihilates are just really bad. I don't mind our opponent being able to annihilate Vara because like we probably already got some amount of value, and we can probably just like get back later. I think having Blight Pass lets us do some interesting things. I guess like compared to a Genid Merchant, a 2/2 is probably about equal to like a 1-power Berserk, I guess. But this will be able to sit there and just like block a teacher or whatever. So I do kind of like that. Oops, that phone's going off. So mute that down. So what must have happened was in the Discord, I believe. So in terms of other threats that we can play, I do like Rindra, but I think we probably don't want to go like too ham when it comes to just like big heavy threats. So look at ones that like dodge annihilate. So yeah, probably want to play like some amount of Black Skies, but probably only 2. So because I want to play 2, that would lean me more to wanting like an actual merchant rather than a smuggler, so we can hit in here. But I'm fine with this. And then now the interesting choice is between In Cold Blood, hybrid, and units on. Whoops. Because this is one of the main pulls as well to being able to play Feln, because it's a shadow deck that can play In Cold Blood, which is generally nice. So you can't do that in like Hydroport or FGS or anything like that. But what I'm curious about is, are Justice units more prevalent than Rost right now? Because I probably want to play like 3 of one of the 2 spells in the main deck and 1 of the opposite one in the market. So it looked like, 3 In Cold Bloods in the main and then like a feeding time in the market. Because then we've definitely got like an answer to Rost. I think that Justice threats are probably more important. And we probably don't want to be like feeding time in something that's just going to be screamed back. So I think that's probably fine for now in Cold Blood. Also, like, Vara's kind of nice at popping Aegis on Justice units, which means you can usually like pop them with this. So awkwardly, like, our favour that gets Primal's not that good. I mean, it's kind of fine. It's a bit of a number with Vara, so not too sure about that. But let's look at what the rest of the deck should look like. So I do want to, you know, if I can, I will just usually get my like, lucky Suffocate in there. We probably want like Desecrate. So this could be a little bit of a difficult deck to build because we've got like a lot of really heavy shadow like requirements, and then we've got like this really heavy primal requirement. But we do get to draw a lot of cards because we get to play like Wisdom of the Elders and potentially Strategize. Not too sure about that quite yet. I'll probably just play the 3 that's got premium for now. So I want to play like some Wisdoms like for sure, and we can also get in some like some Honor of Claws. So it's 4 at the minute, but that'll be likely to change. Also, maybe we're sort of like pushing ourselves into a hole here with playing fewer shadow units because we've got like Rost. But because Rost never really dies, maybe having a Vara, because my train of thought here is I would like big Vara in the market. But then I was like, but then big Vara doesn't get back Rost. But it doesn't really matter, does it? Because Rost never dies. I mean, it comes back, which would be nice if it was like a shadow unit with this ability, because then it's going to keep re-triggering your Vara every time it dies, but it's usually it's not going to be that much of a problem. We can also play a Mock Knight, I guess, but we don't think we really need that. So in terms of draw, probably fine, but we do want to have access to, I think, Diesel's office. So slam one of them in there. Probably not too sure about having that in the main deck just because it's kind of expensive, and we probably just want like cheap sort of interactive spells, really. So is there any new toys that we actually got from the new set? In terms of Feln, doesn't look like it really. I mean, this is nice, but it costs well too much. This cost 4, that'd be really interesting, but costing 5 just probably makes it just a bit too much for constructed realistically. There is Nullblade as well. Nullblade's kind of nice. If we end up with just like a Shadow Market, though, do we just change to Shadow Market? I don't know. I like the Void Hate we've got access to there, though. Malediction's kind of nice, but we can play Hailstorm, so we don't really need this. It's not something we need to be too concerned with. Diesel's Racket's a cool card that you can brew with, I guess. Olivia Hexweaver. So, Endurance units can't block and gets played -1/-1 Disfigure. That's interesting, but maybe not quite yet. In terms of new cards, though, yeah, it doesn't look like we've got too much that we could actually be using there. I do like these coins, especially like for inferiority complex. I think this is probably one of the potentially busted ones because the effect that this gives you is, well, it's a bit wild, just like forcing your opponent to attack into your deck that's, you know, playing like big deadly boys is smiles. So yeah, there's not much else here that we'd want. Just get out of Dark Control, just go to everything. So the market, maybe also feel like a feeding time because, in fact, no. What's the Seek Power one called? Royal Decree. We could get some of them in the main, actually. Just as like our sort of discard spell. We've got like enough ways to attack realistically, so actually, do we want some more ways to attack? Let's get our market sort of set up first. And then we probably want, well, there's a Dark Return. I'll figure some out in a minute. It might be like Hailstorm something in here. Actually, we should probably get that in. That's got pretty much everything kind of covered in the market. We can just look at the main deck now. So if we've got Rindra in here, and then we're just looking at some kind of mid-range decks, we've got down in there. Down on these because we don't really need them. We've got like some Nightfall threats. So actually, let's take a look at some more of the threats we could actually play. I do like Midnight Gale, but it's probably a little bit speculative to actually keep this in play. Just the stat line of being weak to Torch and Vanquish is just always kind of rough, really. I do like Blessing Avisar, but with no other dinosaurs, we don't get much value off the Fate. Feln Bloodcaster's day's probably gone, although I do actually really like this like as a card. I might play some amount of Rindra's Choices, because champions are good, like kills Stat Maiden, kills Highwayman. Do like Rindra's Choice there. Then I suppose I should probably put this back on a unit so we can actually get what we're looking for, because we're looking for some more beef, realistically. Some more ways to attack our opponent, like attack, block, you know, all that sort of business. Maybe we'll go back to like the little Warcry 2/2. Yeah, so if I can find that. There we go. And we've got about 2 or 3 more flex slots that we can actually play. Maybe we could play Instigators. I'd probably want some more free drops that we can actually attack and block with. So at that point, maybe we'd go to play some Midnight Gales then. Pony Snatcher is probably a bit aggressive in terms of influence, because we do want to be leaning more towards like the Primal side, especially getting like the Primal side of Champion of Cunning, I guess. So maybe just go to the old standby, just play some Edge Point Instigator, because this card's good. Okay, so if we go to our power now, we can pretty easily just like fill our deck up with power, and that's what we need. We do want some Seek powers in here, but I will make some cuts for that in a moment. So some clan standards there. I think they're kind of important. Crest's kind of easy to put in. Let's jump some of these and some of these. I could probably just like build the rest just by like add powered dot button. So what we're up to 29 power is probably a little bit excessive realistically, but we've got like loads of like 5 drops and some 6s. That's probably about right. We've got some strategizers. Maybe we don't need the instigators. That's sort of easier cut. And we'll just try to probably fine. We can make a couple of cuts in terms of power. So down at 27 power, if I go and grab some Seek powers then. Put full play set and see what it looks like. So we'll be at 31. If we cut it down, we'll be at 30. No Vara's favour, of course, but we are kind of heavier on Primal, so that's probably fine. If we can get like a little bit more like this, that's probably a bit fair, because we do have some shadow requirements as well. I think it was a 16, 20 shadow, and I don't know, whatever that is, plus 3, 23 Primal. That's probably fine. We're a little bit heavy on 4, it looks like, but our 2s as well, kind of heavy there. Probably got quite a bit of game here, so let's build this up and just chuck it in the ladder. Just going to try for like 3 games, just to see where it is. It's just a concept just to play with, like Rost and Feln. Well, let's go. Well, we can play Rost nearly, so that's kind of good, but I guess we just need to redraw this here. And yeah, it seems fine. We've got a nice early Ripknife assassin, pretty much for sure. And then we can Smuggler it up if we need to. It's kind of slow just because of the depleted power. Maybe the clan standard should just be like more actual power. I can see it's going late and just like actually care about it. Okay, well. It's probably a good matchup to be playing like the 1-4 if our opponent's going to be playing tokens. We can go and grab a Hailstorm. Yeah, this is fine. Just next turn is just like play the 2-2 standard and then just set up to get the Hailstorm over the next couple of turns. It's fine, but up, I guess. We've not got like any 1-cost spells that we'd want to use, apart from maybe like a Seek, so. And Seek we could just do the other way around. Probably going to get rid of these one of these strategizers just because they can be a little bit slow. Well, Rindra's choice is probably a bit of a stinker, so. Outside of killing Heart of the Vault, I suppose I could kill Daria, but they're not playing Daria, are they? I'm not quite sure what these decks are playing anymore. I don't think Rindra's choice does it, so let's just grab Hailstorm. Could make this an 8-8, but I just don't think that'll matter. So, not attacking, just sort of like make blocks as you do. And then we get to play Hailstorm and like still have a 1-4 back, which seems fairly reasonable, to be honest. This could be like a Sakalis turn if our opponent's playing that style of deck. Again, just like Feln cards have just always got the best art. If we get another Torch out of this, I'm kind of happy as well. Rally's not the best, but we get Rally out of our opponent on like a not very important turn. We could be greedy to like strategize, try and find because we do have to be mindful that like until we find like Black Sky Harbinger, Hailstorm is basically our only version of this effect. If we find Undepleted Power, we get to do both, so I'm going to be greedy. If our opponent to just like put a little bit more on the board, that seems fine. Let's get rid of this strategize. So, I don't think I'm going to go for the Onslaught to transform all of them. But maybe I should. In fact, yeah, we are going to. We're not going to Onslaught. We're not going to Berserk, sorry. We are going to Onslaught. Because we could hit something like... Okay, so just Impatient Paramage. Well, it's kind of fine, I guess. Vara will be good after the Hailstorm. So, Seek Power all hits non-power cards, so we know that our opponent's hand is basically all power. So this Hailstorm would be lights out, but I think we're actually just going to take the turn to... I mean, we're at 10, so we're kind of safe. Yeah, we'll just play Rost, because we know our opponent's got like 3 power in hand, like, it's fine. So what's going to happen? Obelisk would be kind of rough. Whoa. Heart of the Vault. I'm just going for us.
It's written right here.
Well, Rindra's kind of good as well. It gives us a really good blocker and attacker next turn as well. Because we get to do this and Hailstorm and potentially kill the 6/6. So we do give our opponent like an extra draw step, which is kind of like rough. But if our opponent attacks with Heart of the Vault, then I'll just double block with these. It fights through pretty much anything. So are we just going to get Stone Flame Stoker here? Maybe, but Flame Stoker doesn't seem good against this board. Maybe we're just being a little bit too conservative with this Hailstorm over here. Oh, Factory Quarter, that's fine. Well, I can do this. Just got the Shadow Source, and then I guess we just... Yeah, because we do need to be aggressive now. Can't attack with this one realistically because this won't trade with Heart of the Vault, whereas this kind of will. Opponent could put like a bunch of things there. Yep. That's basically doing what we want. So it's to blow everything up. We do play a unit, so we get pinged, which is kind of bad. We're at 5, so we are dead to like an Obliterate or a Flame Blast. But we do have quite a clock as well, so... Our opponent's taking a bit of damage here, so I'm probably not going to play Rindra. We'll go for the extra point of damage, so we'll just crack our opponent for 9 this turn, and they should be dead next turn, pretty much no matter what. Yeah, just a Black Sky. This way, pretty much whatever they do, we should have them dead, but obviously our opponent can burn us out. That's something that deck can do. But yeah, there we go. We got there. Okay, well, first just a redraw, just like 2 powers, just nowhere near enough. This is probably kind of fine. Depending on what matchup we're against, we can sort of decide what to do with this Royal Decree. So Royal Decree is just kind of like... It's like a Sabotage, but it hits basically anything. And then if you get to Onslaught, it's just be able to strip out your opponent's hand. We'll play that one first just because we can hit like a seat at some point. Try to make sure we've got like the maximum amount of basics in here. Okay, well, we don't have time against this deck, so let's just Royal Decree, see what they're up to. Get the old Stimper tool out. So, do care Miner's Musket? Probably not, like that'll just trade with the only Ronin. Duo or Katana? Probably not. So let's just take the Duo. Because the Katana, like, we take 4 this turn. Like, whatever. We're going to have a 1/4 and we'll just, like, block it. Because we're kind of far away from getting Rost, and our opponent can play Valkyrie Enforcer, I'll probably just, like, swap it for something like Hailstorm here. Okay, well, getting a bit closer to playing Rost, but not quite there, so... Just grab Hailstorm again. Got this, like, when we want it. I assume our opponent's just, like, going to put the Ornate Katana on top of the Hojan, because that makes it kind of hard to block, but... We'll still just make our turn just, like, doing this. There's the Seek Power that I'm guessing that we gave them. Yep, because if they just attack with this for 4, then I see that's kind of a victory, realistically. If they put any weapon on this, it just gets blocked. Yep, this is fine.
No escape.
And then I'll just play Rindra just as like, I'll do blocks, trades, like whatever with this. Rindra gets killed, that's kind of bad, but that should slow our opponent down as well, because they have to spend like 2 or 3 power to kill this then. Yeah. I'll probably blockade even through a spell because, what should do we? Yeah, I'll do that. Okay, so is it just like a bluff or... Yeah, okay, Maya's musket. So we knew about the musket, but then we get to gain 10, which seems... That wasn't even on my radar just because of how much life we were going to gain. So Blight Pass can come back, so... We can just go and get like Dark Return, go and grab Rindra back, because Rindra seems good. We can just like Hailstorm this and Desecrate, which seems like a bit much. It's like Hailstorm and hold up Clan Standard, but we do kind of care what the Primal source is. We're like millions of lives as well, so I think we can just like do this, grab the Dark Return. We'll get Rindra. There's like a 6/6. I'm happy with just taking 4 this turn. Would be nice like, if our opponent sets up, like plays some more things on at the board where we're just able to do the Hailstorm. Uh-oh. Well, no blocks for me. Because now we get to do the thing. Oh, I can't play Rost. So I'll just play Hailstorm, kills their thing. Like the turn before they would be able to ultimate it, pops this Aegis. And then when they go to attack, I'm just going to attempt to clan tactic. So I am going to do this before blocks. Just because, well, it feels like something's happening here. I'd rather our removal spell doesn't just get blanked and then we just like take a million for no reason. So yeah, block instead. So the 2/2 merchant would have been slightly better there, but in terms of utility, I'm kind of fine with this. The place, it does refill both of us up, but getting that combat trick out of the way is kind of nice, I think. Just hopefully saves Rindra, like gives Rindra an extra chance here. Okay, so that seems good. So what we can do is we can either go for the Primal source, gets us closer to Rost, gets us closer to Champion of Cunning's other side, which is Primal, or we can go for Shadow and definitely have Champion of Cunning's Shadow side now. I think we probably want to go for the Primal. I think just attack here, just like actually try and kill our opponent is probably wise. And then just to be power efficient, I'm just going to play the 5/5. If our opponent kills it, that's fine. We've got like 2 big threats that they kind of have to deal with. Also, we want to get the lifesteal pretty much whenever you can. So now we're on like big boy territory, just ultimate Power Knights, which is big. Unless our opponent's got the decision now. Do they ultimate this or do they try and kill this? Well, it looks like they didn't care about Aegis anyway because they had a 5 power weapon. So now if we just like ripped a... yeah, let's play both of these. Seems good. Outside we'll just like attack. Is this ultimate bothering me? Probably not. Just do this. Just attack. Try and kill our opponent. It's generally the aim of the game, I believe, that killing your opponent is what you're supposed to do. And now we can just like block both of these if we want. We probably do because we don't want to take like 10. But, oh yes, there we go. Still to attack with all these. So opponent has to make like some amount of blocks here. I mean, they're only taking 10, which isn't infinite. Okay, we'll get the combat trick out of them now. They get to call Rindra, which is kind of rough, but we'll get some Warcries, get it for 4, get a card off them, and then we'll get to play Rost. Rost is a pretty frosty boy. I think the power base probably needs some work, but just as a concept, just having this card that's basically Macto, but on revenge free rather than like revenge whatever. You probably won't get like the blowouts like you used to get in Macto where you could just like in JPS, yeah, just like Wisdom of the Elders. After your opponent killed your Macto, and Macto's back into play and blocking. Well, I think on average this is probably good. Oh, okay, so what are we getting here? If we get Void Blade, Vanquisher's Blade, probably a little bit of trouble because it stops the Entomb. Something we need to be mindful of. So we probably need to slow down if that happens. If it's just a plate, I mean, it's annoying. Ah, I think I've grafted and we took 10. Yeah, that's not great for us. In which case, now's probably the time we want to slow down. Well, I can't play that, so I can kind of sit back. I think we can, because we can't play this anyway. And just playing like the 3/6 Berserk is probably fine, but I'd like to get a little bit of action here. Go and grab like a Feeding Time or Diesel's Office would be really good. Just setting up like 2 turns in the future, if we can survive that long. So our opponents, they've got the 1 draw step. Right, this is fine. I'm just going to make some blocks. Blocking the most possible damage. So I've got like, no play, I'm happy. Yeah, get out of here, Rost. So, if we get Nullblade, we get to attempt to kill this through a combat check. If there's a combat check, we're in trouble. Want to be enough to kill us anyway, so... Get Diesel's Office, it sets us up for next turn. We get to kill their play and gain 6. That seems good. Feeding Time gets to kill this now, but I'm just going to go for Diesel's Office. Right, we don't play big cards like Diesel's Office to not be greedy with them. Yeah, so this card opponents maybe whiffed. They're doing something with this. Don't think they can have. I don't think that they've got removal spells that can kill 3/6s. They should be like all Vanquishes and Torches. Okay. They shouldn't have Defiance. They could, but I don't think they do. So gain 6, deal 6 seems good. No fast effect there. So we're up 17, we're pretty safe. It's unlikely our opponent can kill us with like 2 cards, and we've got like, we're looking at 4 in our next turn. Let's give them the hold emote back. So on to the last one, and then we'll probably wrap it up and maybe try a different deck. I'm sure I recognise this name. Must have been on the Master's Grind a lot a couple of months ago. I guess I'll keep this. Like, Influence is pretty good. We both nearly turned on for Champion, nearly turned on for Rost. At the point where we could play them because we had 5, we should have like one of the sides like possible. Rindra's Choice, probably the more questionable part about the hand. But this is either like... Oh dear, oh dear. They took Rindra's Choice. Cool. It did its job. Well, let's just Crest here. So our opponent's got removal spells. That's something to tell me because they didn't care about Ripknife Assassin. So it's probably like either Stone Scar, yeah, no, protecting Champion. Okay, they just had like multiple shakedowns, which I'm sad about. Take the Merchant's kind of fine because it means that I'm able to do this, which is just like play our thing. We've got a removal spell that's immune to shakedowns, but we've already seen 2 anyway. So, and now like, yeah, opponent's got things covered. But it's just kind of a nice dynamic gameplay. Would kind of prefer to see another Merchant just because we are starting to flood here a little bit. I mean, influence is not an issue. Okay, so Champion Chaos I think is probably, like on average, one of the better threats from this deck, so it's kind of worth in Cold Blooding. Just because maybe we'll get something else cheap to do next turn. I can just like Desecrate plus Thing. If we get up to 6 and we draw like another 4 drop, we're just able to do 2 things. So on that turn, just use the most expensive thing. So it's going to be kind of rough. Let's just keep bottom all this power. Just like, so rich for power. Let's make Vara, hope it sticks. Opponent didn't sacrifice, which means that it probably sticks. Or it probably doesn't stick, rather. Okay, so this is the plan, making Vara favour me. Yeah, okay, so now we get to do the thing that I was talking about. We get to do 2 spells. So let's Vara Vengeance Seeker, see if we get anything off run. This does kind of lose a point if they sacrifice here, but you know, we're just going to do this. 2 Vara should be pretty rough for the Stonescar deck to have to deal with. They can do the Block plus Torch, but then we've got like millions of cards of our opponent. I mean, they don't know that we're like flooded to all heck, but oh boy, trip champions. Well, let's Wisdom here. Yeah, I'll promise off it. That's probably wise. We're at the point where we're just going to attack for 10 and just like... Everyone doesn't know, but we're just going to play Rindra. But they can probably suspect it was some sort of removal spell or just us fearlessly attacking. So, there we have it. That was Rost Feln. And, yeah, main reason I went for Feln rather than Huru is just because Huru's probably done to death right now. I'm sort of bored of playing with and around that deck. But, yeah, I do like this card, Rost, just because it's similar to Makto. So, you've just got this really inevitable threat. And I guess it doesn't really matter if you can't always play it on 5 because it's just your inevitability engine. What you really want to be doing is just sort of like soften your opponent up like in this early game with like Rindras and Varas, and then eventually you're just going to be able to grind them out with this Rost. Your opponent can keep you off tempo just by like repeatedly removing it, but if you've just got something in play that basically just says every other turn your opponent discards a removal spell, that seems fine as a threat. I like that. Roll Decree, I think maybe we should be a little bit more aggressive before playing that, but basically I would play Sabotage, and would I play 2-cost Sabotage that took anything that wasn't a power? Probably, yeah. Would it take something that if you attacked, it was basically a mini Rain of Frogs? Yeah. Because... So frogs sort of replace themselves in your opponent's deck, and it's also like a threat sometimes. Your opponent's playing like loads of obelisks, then you've just got like a 0-cost 3/3 or 5/5. That's a bit much, but if you Royal Decree them and you get the Onslaught off, then the thing that they draw doesn't have destiny. Like, they just draw a Seek Power when they wanted to draw, like, I don't know, Cho, or whatever it was that you frogged from, well, Seek Powered from their deck. So that's kind of, it's interesting as a card. I think it's nice and aggressive. Not too sure about the Smuggler over Merchants yet. I'm not sure like which one's more powerful. I generally lean towards Smugglers when I can. Just because it's got so much reach in terms of what they can actually grab from your market, it's a lot more overlap. But Smugglers get more awkward in like free faction decks where you're doing stuff like, I don't know, you've not got the full suite. Or like in JPS you're playing like the Agipot Smuggler and things get a little bit awkward when you're trying to be hitting like Primal spells. But yeah, other than that, I think the deck's probably cool. Probably won't go out and craft it all if you've not got it, but I think there's definitely a lot of space and a lot of things to play with both the 5 faction legends that were all like quintuple faction requirements, but the Insignias like help a lot as well. Like, I just think the Insignias just, it's given a lot more consistency to the 2 faction decks where realistically like FGS's power base in terms of influence was probably as good as a 2 faction power base, and now you've got this consistency on top because you've got like 20 sources of each colour like as a minimum, as well as just having like these really powerful payoffs like Rost and just always being able to play Desecrate pretty much. But anyway, I've been that was all. Thanks for watching. I'll see you around.